season. More on that in a second. Panthers lose 9+ games for the 4th straight season. That's the longest streak in franchise history. They fall to 2-13 in December. That's the worst in the NFL. Sunday, they take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week. And then for the Bills, we've mentioned that big game they have coming up against the New England Patriots. So we talk about this Bills team versus teams that are 500 or worse, and you look at that record sitting at 7-1. I mean, those are the winnable games. So you want to see this kind of a record.
Yeah, but eventually you got to beat some good teams too. Starting next week when they play New England, you got to go in there and try absolutely win that game if you have any chance to win a division.
Okay, so let's talk about the AFC East. Obviously, do you think that that's the game that's going to decide the division, Jamie?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, the Dolphins have certainly played themselves back into the Patriots are 9-5. You got the Bills at 8-6 and Miami at 7-7. So Miami still has a game with the Patriots coming up. So that's certainly going to matter. But obviously, Buffalo, if they can win this game, they put themselves back in the driver's seat, which is what everybody thought was going to be happening this season. If New England wins the game, though, they're probably going to end up winning the division because 10-5, tough, I think, for Miami to catch them. Obviously, Buffalo will fall back. It's just amazing to think. When you look at the roster for the Bills, you can argue when they were healthy with Tre'Davious White, best roster, top to bottom. They just can't win tough games. And next week's going to be as tough as they get going into Foxborough.
If New England wins, it's over because this is their last 2 games. Home against Jacksonville, at Miami. Now, at Miami is not an easy game, but if they win this game, then they beat Jacksonville, then they basically win the division.
And if they know what their status is, if they can't get the 1 seed, if their seeding is locked up, they may not play guys in Week 18.
Right.
And it's incredible when you think about coming into this season, the Bills were, everybody thought the Bills were the runaway winners of the AFC East. Like
AFC, potentially.
Yes. And now you're looking at and level of concern with the Bills.
No, I'm not as concerned with the Bills because they have Josh Allen.
But they can't run the ball.
Yeah, but they ran the ball today. I mean, for them, that's a good performance. 88 yards rushing from a back is a good rushing performance for them. They need to get more of that. And I thought Singletary did some good things today. And if they can get that out of him, they'll take it. The concern with them is twofold. You mentioned the run game. Can they be physical enough in the run game? Are they physical enough to stop the run? Because that's always a concern. They're not a big defense, and teams have pushed them around at times in the run game. So you get to the postseason, it's one thing to be able to throw it around like they do, but if you're in a game close, you got to be able to run the ball and you got to be able to stop the run. Can they do it?
It's really a bad setup because you're going into Foxborough, where the Patriots are always tough under Belichick. You're coming against the Patriots team coming off of a loss, and coming off of a loss with extra time to prepare because they played on Thursday. So it's going to be tough for Buffalo to win that game. They really have to step up and play well because, again, their playoff hopes are potentially going to slip away if they lose that game.
It's going to be a great game, and it's a game you're going to be able to see on CBS. Bills and the New England Patriots coming up in Week 16, one of the great games that we have for you. Well, speaking of great games, you might be involved in some in your fantasy football playoffs. The playoffs are underway, and for all those dicey lineup decisions and possible waiver pickups, give your team that edge. You want to be listening to FFT all week long and on weekends. Adam Azer, Jamie, you call them the best host in the business. I would not disagree with that. Jamie and the team giving advice, DFS picks, start 6 selections, and they're answering your fantasy questions. Download and follow today FFT, wherever you get your podcast audio.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.